Eat.
Today, we've tried to take a closer look at a subject that's on the minds of many American women, the problems connected with being a battered wife. Our guest has been Mrs. Wynette Sloan, a lady who knows firsthand. And because she's come here today and told us how she deals with it, she's opened our eyes and made some helpful suggestions to the untold millions of women out there who are battered wives.
Keep it simple. Salt, pepper, butter and sage, flour, and eggs.
Next week on Who Wants to Know, we'll meet a student who buttered up his teacher. So until next week, this is Mortenham Dinner saying good night. Today is slow. The show is quite informative. Excuse me, Miss Sloan. Are we still on the air?
If you look at our action weather radar, you can see there's quite a storm coming from over here. I'm Tatiana, the weather hermaphrodite.
Mother Nature is full of surprises. This year, the winter storms have left us overstocked and up to our necks in cock rings. At Cock Ring Warehouse, we've got the largest selection of new and used cock rings in the tri-state area. Over 3 miles of cock rings. Stainless steel, bronze, leather, mahogany, sandalwood, and even stained glass. And all the latest styles, including the Dillinger, Pheasant Under Glass, the Brat, and Old Ironsides. So follow this little guy. Any cock will do! To Route 59, just south of Santa's Village for cock rings, cock rings, cock rings.
And I don't want you calling him a sissy. This guy's a fruit. And a... No, wait, queer. That's what you like to be called, right?
Well, that or John.
This is about as tolerant as Dad gets, so you should be flattered.
Great. Well, Homer, I won your respect, and all I had to do was save your life. Now, if every gay man could just do the same, you'd be set.
Amen to that.
Wow, what a swell place to work.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got the key, so I just come in, read comics, play music.
You worked here a long time?
Almost 4 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I know, but it's not so bad. I mean, I'm pretty friendly with most of the customers, so I just hang out, bullshit, read comic books.
You get paid a lot?
No, that's where the trouble comes into paradise. But the boss, he's a pretty nice guy. He lets you borrow money from time to time if you need it.
Ain't you gonna dance?
Benson. Benson. Nobody does the robot anymore.
I thought if Casanova and Ienzer had nothing to say to each other, he'd get bored. Go away. Instead, he uses it as a chance to put his testicles all over me.
His what?
How you say, octopus, testicles.
No, tentacles. NT. Tentacles.
Tentacles.
There's a big difference.
Elaine, is it your birthday?
No.
Well, what happened?
Oh, well, it got so that every pissant prairie punk who thought he could shoot a gun would ride into town to try out the Waco Kid. I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. It got pretty gritty. I started to hear the word draw in my sleep. And one day, I was just walking down the street, and I heard a voice behind me say, "Reach for it, mister." I spun around, and there I was, face to face with a 6-year-old kid. Well, I just threw my guns down and walked away. Little bastard shot me in the ass. So I limped to the nearest saloon, crawled inside a whiskey bottle, and I've been there ever since.
Elaine, is it your birthday?
No.
I don't need a reason to give gifts. It's my nature. I love to make people happy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ta-da! It's a cigar store Indian.
Oh, shut up, Pee-wee.
Why don't you make me?
Why don't you make me?
Because I don't make monkeys. I just train them.
Oh, Pee-wee, listen to reason. Oh, come on.
I'm listening to reason.
Pee-wee.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Okay. To answer your question, Natalie, the board of directors was a little concerned that we didn't have a back-to-school drug or Christmas drug.
We didn't have an International Women's Day drug.
Exactly. So, I tried to remind them that when I invented Stummies...
Oh, Stummies, yes. Thank God that you did.
It took both time and effort. But unfortunately, the board takes a narrow view, and in their own narrow way, they think that the company is losing money, which in fact we are, but again, I think this is the narrow view.
Well, damn them, John. I mean, what the hell do they know?
What do they know? Thank you.
Well, they're insisting that we cut our research outlay by 60%. Of course, I told them to fuck off.
Good for you, Don.
But then, out loud, I said I'd consider it.
Of course, Don. Exactly the right thing to do. Play with them.
So, where are we with that, Marv?
With what, Don?
Our restructuring plan?
You mean the thing that you just mentioned just now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on top of that, Don.
Good.
Snake eyes. Maybe teeth. Oh, hammerhead. Oh no, pussycat puss. Batman. Double header. Pickle puss. Pumpkinhead. Neon noodle. Jukebox jaw. Wolfman. Ruff. Ruff. You're all under arrest.
You found me beautiful once.
Honey,
You got real ugly.
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and then it's full of pep. We're gonna start with high shots. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king, everybody out there. Thank you for joining us. Fantastic Comics presents not just a show on YouTube about comic books, opinions, all that kind of stuff, dealing with the world of the funny books, but also a guy that runs a comic book store in Berkeley, California. That's right, everybody. For those of you that don't know,
my name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
and here I am. Thank you very much once again, everybody, for joining us live this Tuesday, just like every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I see we have a few people viewing. I know there's a lot of YouTube shows out there. I know there's a lot of television and streaming services and things that are just comic book related, not to mention all the politics and fun stuff that's going on with that, all the craziness that's going on in some other fandoms that have sometimes tangential a reach into comic books. Sometimes there's a comic book based on that stuff. We talk about things here that we talk about at the store, things that I witnessed, things that are going on, things that are fantastic comics related, because this, after all, is a show for my customers. But you can take all this great information I'm going to spew out in front of all y'all right now and take it to your store and say, you know what? I know an owner of a store that actually thinks this. Now, I don't get too crazy on my, maybe I do. I don't know. I don't think it's too crazy. I'm just a guy that's been reading comics all my life. I don't just read the superhero comic books. Well, look at these books right here on my spinner rack. You'd think I'd know how to point to a rack these days. There you go. Boom. That's just some of the stuff that I used to collect. It doesn't really come out anymore. Although, if you notice the one that says Hate, that's going to be coming out with a brand new miniseries soon. I'm really looking forward to that, and you should be too. All right, our 225th consecutive Tuesday, getting together, talking about funny books, and also talking about the wacky world of professional wrestling. You know what? For all of you that come here knowing that the very first few minutes of the show we spend talking about wrestling, I've got to say this to you.
Sup?
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 Hello?
What's up?
Sup? Probably the best thing I think I ever saw on TNA, maybe ever, was that little bit. And I really enjoyed it, and I like to share it with you. There are other shows out there that talk about wrestling that use it, but I'm the one who ripped it off first. Wrestling, there was King and Queen of the Ring. That was a one-show PLE, which you get on Paramount, and it's WWE. And we got a brand new King of the Ring and a Queen of the Ring. And this year, we find out that these people that win are going to actually get a shot at the belt of their show that they're on. And that'll be over at SummerSlam. So, wow, there's even more good things that come from a person other than wearing a crown. Actually, when Gunther won, he didn't even put the crown on. He just kind of held it up. He knew, don't put that thing on. It could work out, but more often than not, it doesn't. So he's a smart man. On the women's side, it was Lyra Valkyria. She's a new wrestler to the WWE fandom. She's Irish, so Irish power, and lost to Nia Jax because she got sat on. And it was a pretty good match. They're both kind of sloppy, but it was sloppy in a good way. AEW had a big pay-per-view, and I don't watch it. So I did have friends that were there, and I was told that when one of them left their seat to go bathroom or shopping or whatever the hell was going on, a seat filler filled in. This wasn't for the pay-per-view. It was for the night before, so I guess Collision. Anyhow, that was interesting. That, who cares? I mean, my buddy's a big guy. So maybe it was important, We've already allotted. They had good seats, is probably what it was. It was the reason. And it looked like it was a pretty good crowd last night. And there was all sorts of stupid AEW shenanigans that went on, so I'm glad I didn't watch it. And that is your Wrestling Minute. Actually, from what I understand, Becky Lynch's contract is going to be up in the WWE starting next month. But I think she actually came back as a favor since Rhea Ripley got damaged. They needed to get that belt on somebody so that whoever was going to get it would get a little bit of extra steam having beat Becky. And that's what happened at the King and Queen of the Ring. That's a mouthful. If you have the Queen of the Ring, wouldn't that be a perfect time to have an all-women's pay-per-view? And you could do that with the men on the other night. It'd be fine. Yeah, this is gonna be a quick one today, guys. I just, we'll see. It's up to you how deep we go here. Dodgers already won a doubleheader against the Mets, finally breaking their 5-game losing streak. And that frees me up for the rest of the night. Go Giants if they're going to beat the Phillies, or go Phillies if they're going to beat the Giants. Either way, it's a win-win. So it's a great night. Now we're going to talk about comics, but first, I want to say to each and every one of you that shows up live.
We didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just dropped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Penny. Please don't think that we me a hammy. We just dropped in from Alabama. We just dropped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just dropped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just dropped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
Stooges are making a comeback, everybody. I want you all to know that. They will not go away. Just like my X-Men pint glass. Yeah, baby. The good old days. Got a Denog right here. Drake's and San Leanne. Local. Just do a quick half pour. Cheers, everybody. Please drink responsibly. You know what I mean? All right. First up, early on. Well, not really early on. I mean, I kind of started this late. Fantinuum. Yo, yo, yo. You cracked that slab because you're freedom fighters liberating comics from their plastic prison. Amen. Comics are meant to be read unless you couldn't read them. If it's going to fall apart, we're going to actually crack a comic book. Look at that. Oh, we're going to crack a comic book, and maybe if I have, I must not have brought it in. It was going to be too hard to really do the story without pictures. Jill Pill in the other room. Hello, with the lore. Please keep calling in so I actually, I have to actually work during the live stream. Yeah, exactly. I hate when you're just having a good time and then a phone rings, right? Right, Lane? Countdown time. Oh, you guys, that was early. Lane, LOL. I do find this funny as topic tonight, considering from... Are you shitting me?
Too much Seinfeld, probably.
Too much Seinfeld?
Well, I don't know. Too much something.
I wonder if it will come back. Tell him I'm going to start over. All right. I'm going to... All right, everybody. Whoops. I just thought I was going to get demonetized. My goodness, not timed out so much. Let the lords let me know before in the past. Don't start over. Just, oh wait, where is that? Oh, somewhere it was somewhere. Don't worry. It's just you timed out. All right. So back to what I was saying. Lane says, I do find this funny as topic tonight, considering from first time I am thinking of sending in my first comics to be graded. But for why? Are you doing for resale? Do you want to just hang them on the wall? There's ways to do that without spending so much money. And, anyway, Illithid Laura appreciated the Major Pains sketch a bit. Ken says, I still need to crack the slab on my Daredevil 168, or do I keep it slabbed? Having a hard time deciding. Well, don't do it until you're ready. Dwayne says, good evening, Yule in chat. Well, good evening to you. Michael Hudson just flipped off a different comic stream as soon as this went live. Oh, no. And then we went off. I hope you're still here. Let me know in the chat, please. Liv Morgan, I am liking her character, how her character is doing. Yeah, isn't she great? She's super fun. Joe with numbers. Happy NCBD. Happy NCBD to you also. Sean Hickey, love this clip. The Three Stooges might have been what got me off. Whoops. Were such an important part of my childhood. Dwayne Muth, of course. Emil Semph is here. Michael Hudson again. Must have been the Stooges. Gotham City Comics. I have learned my lesson. Just stay on for a second. You didn't miss anything. Oh, I'm back. Excellent. Thank you. How's your father? You guys. What else? Yeah, it was the Stooges. I just thought, since I've already played so many things that are going to get me not, demonetized. So Yule, Lane says, I have been reading Blood Hunt just to keep up with what is happening for knowledge sake. Well, so far, sake. I'm botting. So far, what have you thought? Didn't read the second issue, but I gotta say, not gonna. You know what? This is a great time. There has to be a way to scam CGC with facsimile editions. Yeah, just put them up in eBay, and people are stupid enough to bid on them. That's all you really need to do. Let's see. Lane, you're asking about Blood Hunt. What do I think about that so far? I think that's a good time to talk about what the best of last week was. What was the best of last week? Sometimes it's things that I've read that I think are really good. And then it's other times things that sold really well in the store. Sometimes it's a combination of both. Let's get on to that. I did not choose Union Jack, which was a Blood Hunt tie-in. I loved it. Thought it was great. It was humorous enough. I don't really know this character, but Kev Walker doing the art was enough to sell me on the book. And it was really fun. I liked it a lot, and that did not make the list. Cobra Commander, I did not read. We sold it very well, like I assumed, but it just didn't make the list because we need to, pay attention to certain things like Blood Squad 7 by Joe Casey and Paul Fry. I have to do a deep dive into his Dutch and his Blood Squad 7 stuff to show you guys why this is very great superhero in comic books. But if you are let down by mainstream superhero comic books, Image superhero comic books, just superhero comics that are from other companies or crowd-funded stuffs, Joe Casey does it. I mean, he's smart. He can do the talk and walk scenes like a good movie that fills in on the information that you need. There's a lot of that in this, but it's also getting the team together, and it's wicked. It's good stuff. I highly recommend it. You should pick it up. And I got these at the store. Wait, that's not the right one. You will. Okay, yeah. So Superman number 14. House of Brainiac Part 4, it's crossing over with Action and Superman. There are also some tie-ins. We'll see one in a second. This was a very good issue. I liked it. Good action and great art. Really good stuff. And there's a first appearance, I guess, at the end of this, and a bunch of Brainiac and Lobos. Can't you taste how great this is? Speaking of something that I thought was excellent, and I know there's a lot of people out there that probably weren't as into it because that's what their jobs are. Mine's to sell you Spider-Man, and number 50 is a big, thick issue. And oh, look at this nice little yin-yang kind of art on the cover. Ed McGuinness doing it. Does the interiors also. Zeb Wells on writing, and it's true. The Green Goblin's back with a twist. With a twist. At least I feel it's with a twist. And then there's another twist. And there's a bunch of backup stories. There's even an epilogue with Todd Knock doing the art, and I thought it was a really, really good issue. It was $10. I understand how that could be upsetting, but if you haven't read Spider-Man in a while, I recommend picking this one up. Let's see. Why don't I have number 2? Let me just see if I can find this really quick. All right, let me just bring this one up. This is silly. All right, next up, a book that always sells very well in the store, or at least it has ever since the Jim Zub writing has, for Titan, ever since they got their hands on Conan the Barbarian. Savage Sword does really well for us, and this is not a book I actually have read. I am a fan of the guy. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I know it's good. And lastly, a book that sold out, so I wasn't able to read it. And going back to what Lane said, what do I think about Blood Hunt? Well, if I haven't read the second issue, I don't want to really say I love the series, but everything I've read or finished reading, I've actually enjoyed. There was that Blood Hunters. It was no problem. It was like a Marvel Comics Presents for the Blood Hunt story. No Wolverine. The Spider-Man one I did not read. I read the issue, but I didn't read the Amazing one. Well, actually, I read most of it, and then kind of paged through to the end. Yeah, I haven't read every single one, but all the ones that I've read, like Union Jack, I really enjoyed. I thought they were great, but I have to put them back on the shelf also. So it's a little different than putting in your own collection. But yeah, I think it's doing pretty good, and I'm excited for it. I've ordered more of the second issue, so those should be in my store probably next week if I'm being real. And I'll probably read that then. But it's doing well. I think everybody's pretty enthused. I got people on board for the first issue. I told anybody that bought Doctor Strange, anybody that bought Moon Knight, or anybody that buys Avengers has to read this. A lot of times those people are all the same. But that's not always true. Some people just get Doctor Strange. Some people just always get Avengers. So it's pretty cool. It's not uniting the store to read one book, but it's taking a lot of aspects of Marvel that maybe a person doesn't read everything, and then they're picking up this book, and they might even be picking up Doctor Strange as a result if they don't read that. Or maybe they're picking up, the Dracula or something. But I think it's doing really well. If you're asking me as a person that's running a store, I think it's doing excellent. All right. Okay, we did the scam. There has to be a way to scam CGC with facsimile editions. Wouldn't that be great? Look at this paper. It's so white. What a great edition. All right. Let's see. It was nice, easy $10 for Marvel to make. They don't make the whole thing. I don't either. That Spider-Man and Black Cat story was awful. Yeah, but didn't Terry Dodson do the art? So that's all you need. I finally picked up a distillery book this week. White Boat was really good. Oh, that's excellent. Did you not enjoy the Eduardo Rizzo, Brian Azzarello Western? I thought that was pretty cool. I admit I only read half of it, but it's one I'll probably go back to. Lane says Blood Hunt 1 and 2 so far I've read, but I have the Black Panther 1 Blood Hunt coming in this week. That's right. And then soon Werewolf by Night. No, Rook Exodus. I haven't read any of them. I could have put that in the honorary mention, but I should probably get into it. It's just tough. It's tough getting into like a new universe or get into something that's going to take a break and then get back into it maybe if it comes out. Or as Ghost Machine seems to do right now, they'll do something and they do an offshoot of that. Granted, these are only the ones that Jeff Johns writes. but maybe when we get to the other books, I might be a little bit more interested. I like Jeff Johns, and I have liked Geiger, but I haven't read everything. I read the first miniseries, but I haven't read all the other stuff. I love Brian Hitch. I love Jason Fabok. He does a really great job. I think these guys, it's a shame that they're not working on Spider-Man. It's a shame that, they don't want to do Avengers. It's a shame they're not compensated to do these books. It's a shame that Jeff Johns is persona non grata at DC, or at least it seems that way. I'm sure he would never say that. It's a shame that people don't buy books when I tell them they're good, like, Blood Squad 7 or Neil Before Zod, because we do have someone slumming in mainstream books right now that is worthy of success outside of comic books and outside of mainstream comic books. But it doesn't happen all the time. And if you can have one, you probably want to be successful outside of comic books. Again, talking about Joe Casey. But I understand the need to only stick with what we read. I knew people that would only buy DC comic books. I knew people, growing up, obviously, also that would only read Marvel comic books. I was the kid that would read anything if I liked it. And you know what? It might be my favorite thing, but if I don't like the art, Colleen Duran on Spider-Man, I ain't reading it. Ew. It's doing better than Blade than Blade movie, which is isn't it redevelopment? Yes, the art was good, but this current dynamic annoys me. Yeah, well. Union Jack was excellent though. I loved it how he was like all slicing up these vampires, and then this British cop, she just like has all this blood and guts just like kind of splashed all over her. And if you know what Kev Walker's art's like, it's like a good Michael Avon Oeming. a greater Michael Avon Oeming. How's that? Man, Kev's just like doing such great stuff these days, and I think he's very he's not appreciated like I think he should be. Oh yeah, Lane, you did. Lastly, going back to Lane again, I just did almost 3 hours stream tonight. I'm glad I didn't have Yule's special visit stream tonight. Oh, I have to have this guy on. We're gonna talk about all his statues and things that are coming out. If anybody's interested, we'll need like 150 likes on this video. If you're still with us. I wonder if I can clip this afterwards. That in between. Anyway, let's see. Lane, one more time. So I'm being mean. I think I managed to get Wes and Dr. Oh yeah, good for you. I could do that. Dwayne Muth, Ghost Machine. Oh, you know what? I'm glad that Lane said that. I'm going to be on Thinking Critical this Saturday live at 7 in the morning here on the West Coast. Much later for those of you in the East Coast. And of course, Wes is running on Philippines time. I guess that's a good time for me to put my favorite channels on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of these as much anymore. If I only watched them, do you think I should get rid of the other ones? Sometimes they don't always have new things, like Rick Worley. And of course, I always watch, well, not every single, but Perch had a good one today. He was talking about how you break the news to the comic store that you can't have your pull list anymore. And Perch had this big part about ghosting the comic store. And I gotta let you know, I've been ghosted a number of times, and it happens all the time. I mean, there's a kind of, if I added that to the loss prevention within the store, count up all the things that, you lose, it's not really that much. But when you see it and it's just sitting there, and you're kind of like, oh, is this person going to come in? I've contacted them. They've come in late before, and I felt really bad about not having their stuff. Like it's always the minute I put their shit out that's when they come back. So it's one of those things. Do I get their credit card beforehand so I can ding them with this $500 bill, and then I can just X their account, throw their shit out in the street, that type of stuff. Do you get money up front? Do you make them buy gift cards? I don't know, something like that. It was a pretty cool video. I liked it. I thought it was good, and of course, Perch has the retailer's point of view, having been one a number of times, I guess. And I'm sure Perch has never stiffed a company that he was buying books from, but I'm sure he knows a lot of stores that have. So there's a lot of ghosting that goes on in comic books. I just paid a bill that I didn't even realize I had. Sometimes you get the statement and it's like, oh, it's $25. It's like, it's $25. This big ass company can wait a minute. But then you realize, oh, damn, there's more to it than that. Or they sent another one to go along with that. And it's like, oh, whoops, I better pay that. Sorry. Those are the days. You got to love them. All right. We're rolling right along. I think it's a good time for us to do this part of the show.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, is something big going on somewhere?
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
Oh, I just wonder if I shouldn't have done that. Are you there? Let's just see. Ghosting is not cool if you have a sub. I just wish also like my LCS would stop pulling me books not on my list or ones I took off. I want you to know if you come into Fantastic Comics and I pull something for you, I am targeting you. But in no way do I ever expect you to buy the book. Where it really gets wonky is when it's an annual. And you know how annuals usually are. You don't really need to read them. Now, if you're a completist, you're going to be very happy that you got the annual pulled for you. But other people are going to be like, oh, I didn't even realize I had it and I wouldn't have bought it, that type of thing. But sometimes they just buy, they don't even look at their pull. I know, because sometimes there's like doubles. Yeah, ghosting ain't cool though. But I've done that. Not in comic store though. I've never done that. Let's see. That was a previous life. Yeah. Past life. I was like a king or a prince or something like that. First up, we have Wolverine number 50. I do believe this is the last issue. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, I'm watching.
They just don't like any Rick Flips anymore.
Oh man, you can tell me when I'm on. It took like a minute last time.
Okay, you're back.
That's hilarious. I just can't believe how this has never happened before. Wolverine number 50, everybody. It's the last issue. Benjamin Percy, Victor Laval, and they're going to do the whole Sabretooth War. Blah, blah, blah. Next up, we have Detective Comics, Ram V's 1085. That's a lot of issues. I'm not reading it. Next up, Green Arrow number 12, the book that keeps on going, whether you want it to or not. Countdown to Absolute Power, because there's a lot of Amanda Waller stuff. Avengers Twilight number 6. It keeps selling out of my store, so come on in and get it. Flash number 9. Anybody that comes in and picks this book up that doesn't normally, you're very brave. No, I was going to say something, but I just don't know what to say. I can't read it because I don't care. Follow the House of X number 5. I'm sorry. Rise of the Powers of X number 5. Finishing the Fall of House of X storyline. This is the Kieran Gillen one where they deal with stuff in the future. I kind of like this one less than Fall of the House of X, which I do enjoy. Superman House of Brainiac tie-in. Power Girl number 9. Boom. Look at that cover. Yeah, they're doing like a whole Lobo thing. Get it? Blood Hunt Black Panther number 1 of 3. Yay. Yeah, if you're a Black Panther fan, you should probably want to pick this up. Midnight Suns. Brian Edward Hell is writing this. I think it's Herman Peralta. So it looks pretty good also. If you're a Blade fan, I assume you're going to want to check this out. If you're a Ghost Rider fan, you're probably going to want to check this out. I assume there's going to be some Darkhold stuff also going on in this, since they're kind of like responsible for the blacked out sky, if I understand that correctly. Hellverine number 1. This is not a book I understand correctly. Benjamin Percy's writing it, and superstar artist Ota is doing the art. I don't know what the first name is. Spider-Punk number 4. It's got some cool covers. And I remember people, oh man, the movie comes out, they're like, do you have anything with Hobie Brown? And I'm thinking, the guy who's the Prowler? Why would you want something with the Prowler in it? And they're like, no, the Spider-Punk. And I'm like, oh, you must have seen that movie. I didn't. There's nothing out. So come back in 5 months or something like that. Death Rattle. This is a one-shot by AWA. Mark Russell writes it. I've read about the first half of it. It's pretty hilarious. This guy wakes up from a coma. 22 years has gone by, and he has this collar on his neck. And he's thrown out into the world with the understanding that if your dislikes are too much in your social media presence, then your collar will explode your head off your shoulders. And 22 years have gone by. What are you going to think about things that you see that are so different just right off the bat? And this guy's working from a negative. It's pretty hilarious. All right, X-Men Wedding Special, everybody. I got a bunch in, but I did have a lot of people that wanted to get holds for this that wouldn't normally get an X-Men special. But I don't know if you can tell, this wedding is going to have 2 women getting hooked up, if you can believe it. Not only that, they're villains. Isn't that wonderful, everybody? Every goddamn person in the mutant universe and then some are here to watch villains get married. I can't tell you how many people have died because of these 2 people, but let's celebrate their wedding. Anyway, I have a few left. Hey, that guy that wrote Detective Comics, Ram V, is doing a book that people have actually told me they enjoyed. Dawn Runner number 3. I think it's the Evan Kagel artwork. In honor of Evan Kagel, let's just never mind. A very, very classic issue featuring Destiny, Mystique, and for the first time, Rogue, a Marvel facsimile that Lane Kramer is going to send into CGC with the Lithidor's help, and they're going to con these people to get a great grade on a book that people are going to like. This isn't real. I think I sold one of these to Eric O'Sullivan. I can't remember, but I think I did. Not the facsimile, the real thing. Great issue. The cover, Al Milgrom. You can't avoid him. But what's great is on the inside, the artwork is by Michael Golden. Chris Claremont does the writing, and it answers the horrible reactions and acceptance of the Avengers to Carol Danvers' plight in issue number 200. And if you haven't seen my and Eric Breen's review of that, you can check in our videos. And I think it's a really good video where we're talking about Avengers number 200. All right. DC Pride number, 1, because it comes out once a year, 2024. My goodness, look at this. You got all these gay superheroes and a DC editor. What the hell? That's a joke, everybody. Once again, I only have a few left, but I definitely had a lot of people asking for this. A book everybody should know about, Grommets, is coming out. It's written by Rick Remender. It has, I don't know who the artist is. I can't remember. Let me look this up really quick while we talk here. Grommets is about 1984. Oh my goodness gracious. How old were you in 1984? I personally was 14 years old. My goodness gracious. I'm glad my my birth was on an even year, because I would, regardless of how old, maybe I'd be better at math. I don't know. Two best friends outcasts navigate the Sacramento suburbs of 1984, where they find a home in skateboard culture and punk rock. Punk rock, everybody. On one side of the coin, Grommets is an authentic look at 80s skater culture, a snapshot of the generation that turned skating into a worldwide phenomenon. On the other, it's a heartfelt coming-of-age story that follows two friends from troubled homes as they navigate their damage in an era when no one cared. Oh, Rick Remender. Tell me more about your childhood, Rick. I think this sounds really good. I bet Jimmy T'd be interested in that. Anybody else want to interested in that? Yeah, 1984. I remember there was this girl in high school that would go and photography, used the photographer, and did the skateboard kids and all the punk rock music that must have been blaring in the pools that they probably weren't supposed to be in, or LA rivers. Yeah, right. And lastly, we have Edge of Spider-Verse number 4. All right, everybody, Spider-Woman. Get ready to be appalled. Who wrote that? It says Magruder. Who's the Magruder that wrote that? I got to look that up while we talk about that. There's no way that's a good Magruder, right? I mean, let's just look. Spider-Verse. Here we go. Nyla Magruder. Who the fuck is Nyla Magruder? Seriously. Anybody know? I'm gonna look up just so we can do this. I know it's really good for the show to do this, but we've already ruined it. So, Nyla Magruder, creator of Spider Bite, that's BYTE, shares what it's like. Yada 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 yada, brought to life in a feature film. Oh, she did MFK. Oh, and some unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Oh, Illustrator too. I don't know. Oh, well, anyway, that's NCBD for you all. Jesus, what a shit show. Oh man, it makes it go longer. It's great. Everybody loves that. All right, this is a good part of the show.
Good.
Phil the Kill says, I am stalled out on the last 40 pages of Volume 1 of Love and Rockets graphic novel by Gilbert. 1984 reminded me of that. Probably Gromit's, I'm assuming. I think that's a good way to look at that one. It's I'm assuming you're talking Maggie Mechanic. The funny thing is I just never really could get into the whole Love and Rockets bit. I think it's because of that futuristic aspect in the beginning. Anyway, man, missed all the good comic talk being on a call. There was no good comic talk, but this is going to be good. We're going to crack this slab of World of Mystery #1 right here. This is donated by Emil. Thank you very much. CGC 4.0. Speaking of CGC, Emil also got me this Comic Connect catalog. This ends 6/24 through 6/28. Okay, 6/24 to 6/28. So it's got a little bit. They are announcing the first ever, one of a kind only, at least right now, 9.9 giant sized X-Men #1. I've got a giant sized X-Men #1, and my good buddy Emil's going to come in tomorrow in the store, and we're going to take a look at that. I think it's tomorrow. So what do you think this is worth? I thought it would have been worth a lot more money, but a 9.8 sold them for like 30,000 at one time. So I don't think it's going to go up a whole lot more. But then when I found out this isn't just a 9.9, this is a 9.9 since CGC said they would start doing 9.9s. So what about, and Lane, good thing you never did it before or have very rarely done it before. How about all those people that have 9.8s that it was pretty much standard practice to never give anything a 9.9? How many of those people, #1, are pissed? And #2, want some recompense from CGC or maybe want to risk a second grade? A lot of times the 9.8 might come on in and they'll be like, what were we thinking? This is the 9.6. I shouldn't say that happens a lot, but that has happened. Yeah. Gotham City Comics says, I've been cracking a slab every Thursday night at the shop. It's good. I'm getting a lot of people that are coming in that are talking about it. I think what we're seeing more in comic stores is people that want to collect these comic books for themselves these days, rather than the resell, rather than the unboxing, so that their channel gets a big thing and they can do their giveaways with their shit ones or whatever they do. When a show doesn't really want to keep talking about the same things on and on and on, I think that's probably a problem. I mean, look, I'm just serving my customers here, on a badly produced show that gets kicked off the air every few minutes. Oh man, I didn't even think we could have told him for that one. I've got to question everything these days. I'm getting a lot of people that are more and more talking about cracking the slab. I think it's great. If you have an 8.0, there's no reason for it to be behind plastic, especially if you want to read that book. And there are reasons to want to read the books because, or at least look inside the books, because sometimes the guts don't actually match the exterior. And I'll probably do a video on that soon. All right, let me stand up with my trusty hammer right here. I'm also going to be cutting this out, but I won't be doing that on camera, especially with as much fuckery as going on the show. We don't need to risk anything. This is bad enough as it is. All right, look at my awesome shirt. Thank you very much, Jill. She got me the Venture Brothers t-shirt season that this came out on. World of Mystery. What does it say here? Off-white to white pages. We've got a Joe Orlando, Angelo Torres, and Bob Powell art, and of course, Emel's signature Bill Everett cover. Since that's the man. Bill Everett, the guy who created Johnny Storm, I do believe. That's what it was. All right, here we go. Oh, it's right there, just like that, everybody. See, you can do it. I had mine in the shells of their imprisonment after I purchased mine for so long. And, you know, one of the reasons why people will say to get them done like this is to protect the book. But in the old days, they didn't perfect it quite so much. And there would be like these rings that would form on the comic book. I think it was because of the sheath that the book is placed in. It's really not a problem doing a 4.0 comic book this way. Because who really cares? What can you do to this book, really? All right, that's that easy. This is the harder part. And like I said, I'm not going to do it. But you only have so much lip to cut. And so, you know, you got to really kind of take your time. And it's not really show worthy to do that. All right, that's it. And that was Crack Your Slab. Thank you very much, everybody. Crack that slab, this ungodly plastic device. You got to see that video that I think it was like a Swedish guy did on the video game cartridge slabbing. And they're basically it's all the same business. Same people that did the coin stuff back in the 80s. And there's a reason to want to get a grade on your comic book so that a person buying it knows what they're getting. But comic books are just way too carny. The people that deal with them are way too carny. I like to, man, I don't know how many, for people that sell comics with Superman on them, you know, how can you be so shisty? But yeah, I try and tell people this is the reason, this is how I come to the price that I'm telling you, I'm offering you. Yes, it's far less than what it cost in book or in guide. I don't think I'm going to be moving this anytime soon. So I'm paying for the privilege of not selling your comic book. Whereas you're going to get all this money. It's never going to happen that way. Go to eBay. Go get that price. I dare you. And that's what CGC has helped do. Get that price. Get that price more than ever. So what is a 9.9 going to go for? Until I realized that this was a 9.9 from the new, we're going to grade things this high. It makes it, like if it was from 5 minutes ago, wow, that's great. 5 minutes after, not so great. A lot, I mean, it's cool looking. I mean, I'm sure this is going to be a tits copy of Giant Sized X-Men. And I don't know if you noticed, but that's gold. Gold. Let me show you. I know. You're like, but Yule, look at that. Black, gold, black, gold. Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful. All right, I'm gonna risk one more. Jill will let me know if we're leaving. It might be true. It might be true. Just in case, thank you to all my patrons. You're awesome. Come into my comic store tomorrow, everybody. Come into your comic book store tomorrow, everybody. Go into the back issues and look for Flaming Carrots. I send you out on your comic book mission. You won't find any in my store. They're right there. No, they don't really get sold to me that often. It's a shame. Let people know that you want to get hate. Or if you're into any of the blood hunts or want to assure that you're going to be able to get them in the future, you should let me or your comic store owner know that they're interested, that you're interested. All right, let's see if there's any comments. Okay, good. Unless you guys are awesome sticking around for our little breaks. We should plan these breaks anyway. I needed to go out and get a comic book for this. If I would have planned it better, this would have been my Flaming Carrots are not for sale. Well, that's just great. Mine aren't either, especially number 1. What's the issue where Flaming Carrot debuts in, though? I can't remember what that is. Is it like I can't remember. I bet if Emel's around, he could say. Yeah, anyway, we've got a Patreon thing. I'm not gonna play the video that goes along with that because, duh, why would I do that? Yeah, thank you everybody for giving us money. I really appreciate it. Damn, it always throws me off when we go off the air like that. It's like really ugh. I don't know if you guys have known, but it's been a really trying month. I gotta say, this is one of the most hell maze I've ever gone through. Oh, it's called Visions. Thank you. We had free comic book day. We had free comic book evening. It went well, but it didn't go that great. And we had the rain and everything. So, best laid plans and all that stuff. And, just like as the month has gone on, I paid my taxes a day late on a weekend, still get dinged for that, I'm ready for May to be over. I'm ready to end my WWE contract like Becky Lynch and go hang out with my kids. I mean, my action figures. they're all strewn out in front of me. You guys, I've got a Flash right here, and on the other side, I've got an Alfred E. Newman Flash. But wait. Who did this one? That's an Ed McGuinness one right there, based off of the Jeff Loeb Batman Superman. Then I have a Green Lantern. You can tell a little Hal Jordan action. But wait, from the Just Us League, I also got an Alfred E. Newman Green Lantern. And there's more. I mean, so I can't wait till June. My contract's up. I don't know who's going to be running the comic store. It might be a different person altogether. Wouldn't that be interesting? Let's see. The other stream is still live. Yes, I sat there like a dummy for 30 seconds wondering where everyone was. I don't even know. Is this the new one or the old one? I'm so very confused, but it really doesn't matter. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Come in next week. I'm not going to have any videos that I didn't create specifically for the show myself, except for maybe one or two. And until then, thank you very... You know what? Fuck it. Let's go out on a video. Let's just do it, right?
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish food complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.